Welcome everyone to another episode of Across the Hobby. I already skipped the yo-yo-yos. Forgive me for that. I'm your host, Adam. You can reach me at the Real 27 Guy on Instagram. We have a very big week of auctions here, and I'm constantly tinkering with the format of this episode. And so I hope that this will be a good fit for you today. This is a bigger than average week in terms of total auctions. This week we have Leland's big giant winter auction that's ending, and that's one that we always want to make sure that we take a look at, because it's one of those that sort of can jump up and surprise you a little bit. Some of these other auction houses, they have a more regular weekly or monthly auction, but where Leland's only goes a couple of times a year, it's always a huge deal. So we're going to spend a little bit of time on that today for sure. Also, I want to go back today to, I forgot to do this last week, but we want to make sure that we do the top fives. So this week, I'll be looking at all of the significant auctions across the entire hobby and picking out 5 cards that I just think are 5 of the most interesting cards to watch at auction, 5 of my favorite auctions. So without further ado, let's jump right into it with MC Sportscards and their weekly auction. Trying a different format here, putting me up on the top left. It sort of seems like it gets in the way of the cards a little bit less than on the top right. I hope that this is helpful. The other thing that I want to do today, and we're going to actually hold to it, we're a minute and a half in. We're only going to go for 90 minutes today. And so that gives us 10 minutes for each different auction house. If I don't get through an auction, we're just going to stop. Okay. So we want to keep the show to an hour and a half. All right. 1/1 Junior Camnero 2024 Transcendent Through the Years Rookie Auto 1/1. Starting off with some baseball, keeping me on my toes here. 1/1 Pedro. Gosh, that's a really pretty Pedro card, isn't it? Obviously not a playing days card, but just a beautiful superfractor with the on-card autograph. Love this Nolan Ryan. Another 1/1. 1/1s abound early on the MC Sports cards. A lot of really neat baseball. This Barry Bonds signature, really pretty. Barry's got a great auto. That's one of the nicest ones I've ever seen. It's already at $1,000. Number 3 of 5. These ones all end tonight. That's why we always do MC Sports Cards first, because MC Sports Cards ends on a Monday. Their weekly auction does. This isn't their monthly huge auction. This is their big auction of the week. It ends tonight. 1/1 Mike Trout, Gypsy Queen. The Mickey Mantle, last name in white. Now, I always forget when I see this, what is the more common way? If you're like me, you forget this too. Let's take a look and let's find out. So I'm going to come over here to PSA, and it's off screen here for a second. And I'm going to click on this and pull up the number. So it's 266-46374. Just going to do a little bit of research real quick and see if we can learn anything interesting. So it's graded a 3.5. And in a 3.5, it is a Pop 15 with over 1,000 graded higher. But from 1969, right at the end of his career, that doesn't feel like a very big number. Let's take a look and see if I'm right. I think this is the rarer version. I think it is. I think that number should be way higher than 1,000. The other card, I believe, is in yellow and is more common. Yes, I am correct on this. So take a look at this pop report. Again, this is the mantle that we're looking at right here. It's a 3.5. From 1969, the last year of Mantle's active playing days, right? I think he played in 69. We should double check that too. You can see like all of these stats going all the way back from 51 to 68. And if we look at the pop report in a 3.5, name in white, here you can see Pop 15. If it was the name in yellows, it's almost 10 times as plentiful. And that's sort of across the board. Now, there's one PSA 10 in white and 2, so that is not a 10-1, but look at everything else. In the 9s, we're talking 16-1. In the 8s, we're talking 14-1. 7s, almost exactly 10-1. So across the board, the last name in yellow is a 10-1 card. For some people, variations like this are some of the best things in the hobby. I personally love stuff like this because I'm a rare card collector. Some people are condition collectors. They want the best condition. And some people are rare card collectors, and some people are some of both. I really lean towards rare cards. I would personally rather have, this is how I think about this. So At a 3.5 and above over here, you've got about, so see this is 1,300, 14, this is about 1,600 total cards, a little bit less than 1,600 total white letters mantles. 1,600 compared to about 13,000, right? Where this is a 3.5, it's ahead of about, let's say 300 cards. It's more than that, but there's about 1,000 cards that are higher than it, right? Maybe a little, but around that amount, maybe a little bit less, but around 1,000. Well, that would put it in around a 7 or an 8, or close to a 7 or an 8 in terms of like how it ranks in the yellow. So from my perspective, like a card like this is just as cool or as a 7 or an 8 of the name, last name in yellow letters. Now, I can see other people looking at that and going, well, Adam, that's insane. Like, condition is everything. That's all that matters. Or I could also imagine somebody saying, no, I actually like care so much about finding the name in white letters that I would rather have this than like a 9. That would seem a little bit crazy to me, because a 9 would be a pop 65. But everything up until an 8, I feel like is fairly rational or logical. Everything in collecting is rational because everything is irrational. So everything sort of goes. But from my perspective, this is a huge, huge mantle, and one of the rarest ones from his entire playing days, especially across the Topps brand. So that will be one really interesting one to watch tonight. And I'm sure that will make it on my top 10 that will go on Instagram later today. All right. We're already 4 minutes in. So let's see. I say 4 minutes in. We only have 5 minutes to go, I should say. I'm totally a sucker for cards like this. This is the 2000 Legends Sandy Koufax with the jersey and the autograph, and it's numbered out of 32, and it's signed on card. Finding a card like this back in the early 2000s was really difficult. And so when you see them pop up today, they're a big deal. I love the hand numbering. I love how hard to pulls these were. Those early Legends things were really tough. This is a card I actually remember opening this product, 1997 Donruss Preferred. You got the platinums, the golds, the silvers, I think the bronzes. I don't know if there's other colors. These are the cards that came in like a tin. The Donruss Preferred tins, you still will see them around. You'd buy a box and you get like a whole bunch of these little tins with the hinges on them. But Griffey's the player of the product, and platinum, I believe, was the toughest. So to see this one, you know, does it say the pop? It doesn't say the pop. Oh, it does. Pop 7. It's a really low number. Foil on the front. I don't know what the pop rate is, but like the gem rate is. That's worth looking at. Another really low pop Griffey, high grade. My guess is these two cards probably come from the same collector. Could be wrong, but I'll bet those two cards come from the same collector. A couple of big football cards. A pop 7 Rice from the 94 Finest set. I love these old Finest refractors in high grade. It's interesting. Think about this. One of the best players from one of the biggest parallels ever, one of the biggest refractor sets ever, and it's a 10, and it's right next to, in price and in an area, it's right next to a fairly common card from 97 PMG red set. If you were to show these two cards to anyone outside of the hobby who was into both basketball and football, they would take the Jerry Rice all day long. But that's where rarity matters so much. With that said, this is a pop 7 in its grade. And so even though I'm a basketball collector, I sort of look at those two and I go, man, that's crazy. Give me the Rice. With that said, there's a lot of set collectors on this, and set collecting is something that really changes how valuable things are. It's got a numeric grade, which is a big deal for this card. And it looks great too. So, but really the reason that this will sell for what it sells for is it checks the boxes of set collector, right? It's good for a set collector, and it is good for like a team collector, like somebody who wanted a Hawks card or a Steve Smith card. Big Wemby. I think this is Russell's first autograph from 2013. I don't think he has one in 2012. Giannis, what is this? Just the regular autograph. It's on a sticker, got the full length sticker. Make sure you look at that closely. Sometimes these autographs are a lot nicer than his on-card autographs. Wow, this is a huge Larry Bird. This is going to be probably my favorite card from all of MC because, this is a card that you rarely are going to see in a PSA 10 as a pop 10. Here's why I think this Larry Bird is such a huge card. I'll slow down a little bit here. Larry Bird only played till the 1991-92 season. His 92 Dream Team games were his final games of his playing days career. And so that's how you remember he actually had retired right when this card was about to come out. So I think, sometimes people will ascribe the year just after a player's playing days as still playing days cards. So although Bird had technically retired at this point when this card came out, a lot of people, including me, still look at it like a playing days card. What I really love about that for Larry Bird is it's the beginning of the Chromium era. So Larry Bird really only gets one Chromium card ever. He's not in 94 Finest. He's not in any of the rest of the Finest or the Chromes, at least until they bring him back in as like a retired player. Before Bird, what do you have really for his career? You've got the rookie card with Magic and Irving, and then you've got like those cards that start in 86 and go through, 92, 93. That are all clearly playing days. And then you have in 1993, the first ever Chromium set, the first ever Finest set, the first ever Refractors, and there's only 10 PSA 10s. This is a huge card. For the collector in me, I look at this and I'm like, yes, just a huge, huge Larry Bird card. All right, we're going to be out of time here in just a second, and I'm going to hold to it, but I'm just going to scroll through real quick. Numbered out of 3 on the Durant. There we are. We're out of time. We're just going to scroll through here real quick. Oh, I love that Koufax. Nice triple. See if there's anything else that I just have to talk about, but I have to hold the man, I love that Kuzi. I've wanted a Kuzi autograph rookie for a while. First ever jerseys in basketball. Wonderful Jabbar that will definitely go on my top 10. BGS 7 on the Messi. Who's that a duel with? LeBron and Riley. Well, that's interesting. Chris Paul, 2005 gold. Oh, I love that, Russell. Man, a lot of really nice Legends autographs up this week, guys. Ooh, a Chamberlain 8.5. I think this is one that I was once offered for my 9. I had a 9 and a friend offered me the 8.5 in cash for it. All right, that's it for MC Sports Cards. Check out the top 10 that I will post today on my Instagram. I'll look through those more in detail afterwards. Check out that Devin Booker right there too. Okay, so let's jump. So the one card that might hit my top 5. I shouldn't say the one card, because I've got to be thinking about my top 5 too. There's the Mantle. Sorry, before we switch gears, there was one other card that was from the first page that I want to make sure that I put aside as a potential top 5 card for me on the week. So it was right towards the bottom here. The Jabbar I love. It's the Bird, though. The Bird is the card that might make my top 5 this week. All right, fine. I'll just use a control find. There it is. The Bird and the Mickey Mantle are my 2 favorites from MC Sports Cards this week. All right, let's reset this timer for 10 minutes. And now let's take a look at Alt, which has a huge auction this week. You're going to see a couple of the biggest cards that Alt has ever sold at auction right now. The Pikachu Illustrator. This is the Korokoro Comics Pikachu Illustrator. I don't know as much about Pokemon as I'd like to, so we're going to skip past that real quick. Then one of the biggest cards that Alt has ever auctioned. Okay, the Kobe Bryant PMG Champ. We're going to take a look at that in a sec. A PSA 9 on the SGA. I've seen some huge SGA sales recently. Wow, a 10-10 on this LeBron. There's something I want to show you on that one that a lot of times people don't know. Cracked ice. 10-10 cracked ice on the SGA. Let's look at that one too. LeBron credentials. We've always got to look at that card. Wow, dual autograph on the MJ LeBron. I'm looking at everything, but I want to look at that one too. We've only got 10 minutes, so I can't choose too many. Let's skip through here a little bit. Amen Black Gold, 2 of 5. That's a huge card. Okay, we've got to look at this Steph. We had a huge Steph rookie sale this weekend in National Treasures that I'll talk about real quick as we look at that. Dwayne Wade, Logo Man RPA from 2012. Huge card. Gosh, we've already got about 10 cards up. This is the second really big week of auctions from Alt. Really big week. Devin Booker, Logoman card. Steph, Deca Prism Auto, Prism Gold Auto. Doesn't this SGA look a little bit like a 2007? Is it 2007? Maybe it's 2004 Pristine. That really great looking Pristine set. Looks just like that. Topps Pristine had one year that was just money, and that's the one that I'm talking about with the awesome Kobe dunk. Jokic silver 10. There's not a ton of that card out there. And we don't see that one hit auction very often. And the LeBron credentials. Oh gosh, there's so much good stuff up this week at Alt. We're gonna call it there though. We got 7 minutes to dive into each of these individual cards. Okay. There was a time with this card where people said, I don't know if I like the looks of that card. The image of Kobe's weird. He's not dunking. It should be better. It should be this. And those times are very much in the distant past, because as people look at this card now, they look at it really as like one of the Kobe Grail cards. And I personally feel pretty good about that, because 97 Metal Universe Champ is one of the best sets ever in terms of, base set, and the PMGs are wonderfully designed. You can't see it in a still image, but there's this thing called the scope pattern, which makes these little bubble things here sort of spin around in a circle if you tilt the card side to side. The other thing that I always point out on this, because I own the Jordan from the set, is that the last 5 of these came from a redemption. And that's where my Jordan is. My Jordan's number 48 of 50. The Kobe here is number 15 of 50. So you've got this sort of beach background with the mountains and the water, and you've got Kobe either getting fouled or grabbing a rebound or something like that. But the real sell point on this card is when you think about big Kobe parallels that have ever been made, and I'm talking like the very biggest of the best. You've got the PMG green. You've got the essential credentials now to 8. You've got some one-of-ones, which we'll exclude from the purposes of this conversation. And then what's next? Maybe the red? Would you rather have this card, or would you rather have the red? It's worth questioning. The red is a more iconic image by far. They both came out the same year. There's almost twice as many of the red as there are of this card. Which one does more for you aesthetically? The image of the red is better, in my opinion. It is. Like the image of Kobe on the card. But the card itself, like the design factors itself, that's the big argument amongst 90s guys. Some will tell you you're insane for questioning whether the red is better looking than the PMG Champ. The PMG Champ's by far better. Some will say you're insane in the other direction. I'm not going to tell you what to think, right? I'm not going to tell you. I can tell you that if I wanted one card, I probably want the red because I love the image of Kobe on it. But you see the red more often by a lot. And I'm partial in terms of design elements. I'm partial to the design elements of the Kobe. The image, or sorry, I'm partial to the design elements of the PMG Champ. But as far as the picture, I would personally go with the red. Which is the better card? Rarity, this one. Image, that one. Design elements, probably this one. I think definitely this one. But everybody's got different opinions on that. All right, what's it at right now? It's at 71,000. Lots of time left to go. Number 15 of 50, the 8.5. Huge card. That is definitely got a shot at my top 5 this week. Okay, so what I want to show you on this LeBron, and it always stands out to me every time I see it, and it's not perfect on this one. I wish it was. So this is a 10-10. It's going to sell for an absolutely huge number. Seeing a LeBron 10-10 of this card, rarely see it, if ever see it. But something that I always look at on this card, and you'll always notice this when there's thin elements that determine centering. Sometimes thin elements can really make things look out of whack. If you look from here to here as far as centering, it might look almost bang on. But if you look down here where the corner comes to an end, look where it comes to the end on the right. It's about a half an inch, at least a third of an inch higher on the right than it is on the left. This, to me, from a centering perspective, pretty clearly isn't a 10. Does that mean the card's not a 10? No. I'm not going to tell you what to think about centering. Or about grades. I'm not an expert on it. But I do know that from an aesthetics perspective, where I look at that corner every time, those corners right here, you guys see what I'm talking about? Look what this white triangle that comes down here. Look how much higher it ends on this side than it does on this side. From that perspective, I just would never say that this centering is a 10. I wouldn't. It's a great card, though. Numbered out of 500, PSA 10, autograph 10. The autograph looks great. Looks like it's pretty well preserved. It's also number 2 of 500, second one. So besides the Ultimate Collection to 250 and the Exquisite to 99, that's the LeBron autographed rookie card. I would just say about the Shea, and I say this every time I see a cracked ice card from this set, or from the football for that matter. In hand, these cards are absolutely glorious. It is a beautiful, beautiful card, and he is on such a tear. So it's rare, super rare. Is it at a 20? Is that right? In football, sometimes they're at a really random numbers like 22. So this card's numbered at a 20. It's got a beautiful on-card autograph. The design elements are absolutely fire. I promise in hand, this is beautiful. And it's a 10-10 from Beckett, which makes it a pop 1. It's got a lot going for it, guys. Checks a lot of boxes. What would you rather have, that or the NTRPA that's in a PSA 9 that's also ending? Would you rather have the cracked ice or the NTRPA? It's an interesting question. I think I'd rather have this one. I think I would. Aesthetically, it's not even close. It's this card by a mile, in my humble opinion. All right. LeBron PSA 9 on the credentials. Because of Alt's white pictures, you almost miss that this is a credentials card. It doesn't look as blue as it could, right? Because this card's pretty blue in hand. On the other hand, it sort of shines through the white does on the background and shows you that this card is it is a see-through card. If you had the black background that sometimes the other auction houses have, you might miss that altogether. So I'm not sure which one looks nicer. I think this way probably looks nicer, but it's easier to miss that it's a credentials card. It's numbered out of 102, and the future LeBron James is numbered out of 1 and is one of his best cards in existence. A 9 on here is a pretty big deal. There's not that many 10s. You can see down here, there's only 5 10s. The last couple have both sold in the 6 figures. Me personally, I would take the 9 all day long and save those tens of thousands of dollars. And we have 30 seconds left, so I've got to go fast. Really neat duel here on the MJ LeBron trilogy. Trilogy is one of those brands that was so big at the time that people have sort of forgotten a little bit. But, man, they had some really cool designs and some really cool cards. Steph Curry had his NT Logoman Colossal rookie. That's a Logoman patch from a rookie photo shoot. Sell for almost $200,000 on Saturday. Almost 200 grand. People are still trying to figure out which Steph Curry cards matter most, and it seems that at least a couple guys really determined that one does. The one thing I wanted to look at here before we leave is, it says the enclosed event worn. So this is from the same photo shoot jerseys as those logo men come from. We also saw an autograph logo man recently sell for like $160,000. So it's very interesting that the non-autograph sold for more than the autograph did. The autograph was harder to see. It was on a sticker. And in this case, the non-autograph actually sold for more. With that said, this card, it's from the same set, includes 2 awesome patches. This is in holofoil over here. It's really cool. And this autograph, gosh, it looks to me like I can't tell if it's a sticker. Sorry, I should have hid this a while ago. I can't tell if it's a sticker or if it's on card. I would do some really good research on this to find out if it's on sticker or on card. I'm betting it's on sticker, but I don't see the signs of it right off. My eyes aren't good enough. And the same goes for this Wade. I'm pretty sure this Wade logo Monauto, I think the autograph on here is also on sticker. Yeah, you can see the lines on this one where that sticker comes in. Alt did some really good content on this on their Instagram, so go check that out. Okay, we spent the 10 minutes. We've got this one over here. That does it for Alt. Again, Alt's auction ends Thursday. Now let's go to the Goldin Weekly. We'll spend 10 minutes on the Goldin Weekly. Let's set our timer and start. I dropped my phone all over the place. Okay, we're going to start off with just a huge SGA. What a card for the Goldin Weekly. Looking at his gold prism. We'll see if the Goldin sight. Look, it's gonna go right there. That's great. We're gonna hit that one here in a few minutes. We'll talk about 3 or 4 other cards that are also interesting or important. Select WNBA Caitlin Clark. Might do a little bit of research on this one real quick. What is this black? Oh, this is her black gold. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit of research on that one too. Superfractor. Wow. PSA 9 on the Irving. PSA 7 OC on the 53 mantle. One of the most beautiful cards. Magic, PSA 710 auto on the limited logos from 03. Huge card. Chronology Kobe to 99. The White Sparkle Wemby. White Sparkle is always one of my favorites. I love White Sparkle. I love the design. I love the rarity. Beautiful Dominguez right here. That's a great looking card. I thought I sorted from highest to lowest, but it looks like I did not. Let's try to do that real quick. We still have 8 minutes on Goldin. It's going to take us a while to dive into that Caitlin Clark, but let's just, I don't want to stop just yet. Okay. Mahomes, Contenders, PSA 10. Walter Johnson, 2.5. PSA 5 on the Messi. PSA 5, then a PSA 4.5 on the Messi. I love seeing the lower grades on those get a lot of love. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's I talked about this with a this week on a Cassius Clay, a Muhammad Ali, one of his sheet cut cards. That's the people always view as like his best card. I highlighted that this week because that's just a card that I just think that's a great card regardless of condition because it's more about rarity. And when there's very few of a card, the same, this has never made sense to me. It's never made sense that people want to sort of put a specific multiplier on conditional things when cards have very different bell curves as far as like how the card is graded. And the Messi is a great example, right? Like Messi is a rare card. The Messi rookie card is straight up a rare card regardless. It's not like most of them are in great shape and then there's like it's just rare. And so you would think that these lower grades would do well. And so it's good to see them. It's good to see them being really respected. They should be respected, in my opinion. And if I was a buyer, dude, I would probably grab a low-end grade because you don't find those out there hardly at all either. It's a lot flatter sort of curve. At the top, it's really tough, right? It's really tough at the top. I'm not saying that it's not. There's a reason that a 10 on that's one of the best soccer cards in existence, but it's pretty flat. All right, a 9. I've always loved this Kobe. This card, I have the credentials of this, and mine's in an authentic holder. This in a 9 is a huge grade, and it's not like impossible. I think there's several hundred in a 9, but it's definitely a huge card. Okay, we've looked probably far enough on Goldin this week. There's the yellow letter right here in a 6. We talked about the white letter earlier in this episode. Now let's dive into the 2 big cards of the week at Goldin that I want to hit. Okay, so the SGA Gold is a big deal. One thing you'll notice if you look at Prism Gold rookies, if you're a big Prism rookie guy, you're going to look at this card and immediately notice there is no rookie shield. Imagine this. Maybe the guy who ends up being the biggest rookie from 2018, his biggest rookie card, Panini just missed it. There's no other explanation. They just missed it. So when the black sold, I think it was either last year or year before last for like 300 and something grand. It's probably a lot more today, I think, probably. Everyone was like, wow, where's the rookie shield on this? Where's the rookie shield? It just doesn't exist on the SGA. This is the true gold, and it's number 2 of 10. Why does 2 matter? Because that, my friends, is his jersey number. So this is then the question on this card. I love this conversation. Okay. Would you rather have the PSA 10 of a non-jersey numbered card, or would you rather have the jersey numbered copy? I will tell you what I think. I think there's a chance you could have 9 PSA 10s. There's only 1 jersey numbered. I would take the 2 of 10 SGA over the other 9, and it doesn't matter. Now, if I would say this, if there's 1 PSA 10, if there's only 1 and like they've all been graded, or a huge percentage of them have been graded, I think it's a tough conversation. I think in that case, it's close. If there's 3 PSA 10s and 1 jersey number, give me the jersey number. But I don't know. I haven't looked at the population. In either case, this card, without question, has a case for being the best SGA gold card ever made. Ever. I'd much rather have it than any other gold SGA. It's the Gold Prism rookie, and it's the jersey number. So it's a very good case for being the single best gold SGA card in existence. And given that he's got a very good chance of winning his first MVP at the age that he's at while he's competing for a championship, reminds so many people of a young Kobe Bryant. Like, it's got a lot going for it. And it's easy to see why it's the card of the week at Goldin. Okay, now the other thing that I want to do before we jump out is this. So 2024 Select WNBA. So I'm going to come over here and we're just going to Google real quick 2024 Select WNBA checklist. Let's see what we get. So Beckett's the first thing that pops up. And usually I look for Beckett. I look for trading card database. There's a couple other ones. Here's the trading card database. And there's lots of good ones out here. And then you do a find for checklist. And sometimes if you click checklist here, it sends you to like a lot of other checklists, not just the ones that you want. So I'm going to scroll down here real quick. You can see the gray images on the set. So this gives you a little bit of a box breakdown, and then you get into your checklist, right? And so you've got 250 cards, and there's 3 different levels. And this is what Select has done through the years. And a lot of people don't love this, but this is important to understand when you're looking at a card. So remember, we are looking at, we are looking at this card right here. I'm looking at this card, which is number 218. So if we come down here, 218 is in the courtside level. So there's concourse, premier, and courtside. And if we scroll down, what I think we're going to find is that Caitlin Clark is going to be in this 3 different times. I think. Now, if I click here and I do find, and I do Clark, of course, we got Aisha Clark too. So number 72 is Clark. Number 151 is Caitlin Clark, and 218. So she is in the set 3 different times. Okay. In general, that's not what you want. You want there to be 1 clear rookie card. For Caitlin Clark in Select, there are 3. This is one of the 3, and each of the 3 has their own parallel like this, right? So Caitlin's Black Prism 218. So then the other thing that I want to do, I could pull it up in Excel real quick. Yeah, we're going to do it. Okay. Bear with me here for just a sec. It's going to take just a sec to do this, but I think this sort of thing is important. So if we do Panini checklist and we go in here, we're going to find, if we click on basketball and 2024 and Panini, I'll make this really fast, guys. And then actually, is this probably WNBA? No, it's not. It's still just basketball. So then WNBA WNBA Select, and then we're going to download the whole checklist. Okay. So what I'm doing real fast on my other screen that you guys can't see is I'm coming into here and I'm just sorting. I'm going to sort by athlete. And when I sort by athlete, I'm going to get all of these different players that we're going to get rid of. And we're going to just leave in Caitlin Clark. Getting rid of everybody on here who's not named Caitlin Clark. And boy, does Caitlin Clark have a lot of cards, guys. Now I'm going to bring this over to you guys so you guys can see it. Okay, I'm going to put it over here on this screen. Bear with me for just a sec, guys. And I am going to share with you this screen right here. Okay, thanks for bearing with me here, guys. All right, so you can see, do this so you guys can see everything. Holy smokes, what just happened? I just copied this. I tried to put this in front of these. Okay, now you guys can see everything, and I'll make it big so you can see it even better. Okay, so if we look, these are all Caitlin Clark cards, right? So there are how many cards out of Select that are Caitlin Clark? 178. All right, 178. And if you remember right, on card number, she has, so these are the All-Stars. Remember, she has 3 different cards. I'm going to turn off my timer because I'm definitely going over on this one. But not by too long, just by a minute or two. So we're not going to take too long on this. So this is number 15s and this is the base set stuff, right? So these first ones, these are all inserts. All number 72s are base cards. And you can see there are these cards that are numbered. So card number 72 has 1,209 total numbered cards. See this 1,209 down here? I'm just adding them up, right? But here's what you got to know about this, Kay. And this is where the black gold is a huge story. So of the 1,209, which by the way, we're going to find across all 3 different parallels, I would guess. We'll make sure of this in a second. Because it's not card number 72 that we're looking at, right? It was card number 2 something. Of the 1,209 total numbered cards for Caitlin Clark in Select for card number 72, a huge number of them are this one out of 399, this one out of 149, this one out of 125. How many one of ones are there? Well, there's this one, which is the black. Sorry, there's this one, which is the black finite. Oh, I'm all over the place here. There's this one that's the black finite. And then there's this one right here, which is, the concourse gold vinyl. They're all concourses. And then we get down to 218, right? So 72, 218, 151, those are your 3 base sets. We're going to get rid of all this other stuff because these are all inserts. So 151, how many total 151s are numbered? 1,209. How many of them do we have from 218? I'll bet it's 1,209. I'm wrong. Whoa. Oh, interesting. Okay, so we just learned something. You guys maybe already knew this. I didn't know this. Let's make sure I didn't delete anything I wasn't supposed to. No, I did not. Okay, so here's what I just learned. I believed that all 3 levels had an equal number of serial numbered stuff, but they don't. Number 72 has 1,209. Number 151 has 1,209. Number 218, according to this checklist, has just 214. About 1/5 or 1/6 as much, less than 20% the total serial numbered cards from the other two numbers. Does this matter? It might. Depends on who you ask. What I know for sure is these big numbers out of 399, 149, 125, they don't exist in this parallel. And again, that's the parallel that we're looking at. So in this one, you've got the 2 one of ones, the 1 out of 3, and then you've got this black gold that's sitting here, right? And let's come back and show you again, now that we've looked at that spreadsheet, let's look at, let's come back here. There it is, number 218, and it's gem mint. This has got a case for being one of the very best select Caitlin Clark cards that exists. You'd like any of the one-of-ones better than this. I'm not sure besides the one-of-ones that any of the other cards you're like, for sure, I'm taking that card over this card. Some people would say, well, you definitely want the gold. The gold has traditionally just always been the best. Okay, that might be the case too. But it's a PSA 10 from the one that's the rarest, right? This number 218. It's got a lot going for it. Okay, we've belabored that. Let's get off it. That is it for Goldin this week. The Shay's definitely got a chance for being one of my 5 favorites of the week because it's serial numbered to his jersey number. And to me, I always think that's a huge deal, especially on a huge card like that. Let's now move the Beckett window back over to the other side. Let's now talk about, so we've talked about MC, we've got all those top 5 ones over there. Let's now talk about Lelands, which is going to give us a card that is definitely going to hit the top 5 list. Already done a reel on it, and is a card that I've had lots of big conversations with about lots of people this week, because there's a lot of people who would really love to own this card right here. The Michael Jordan earlier playing days autographs are always highly sought after. The 97 SP Authentic Sign of the Times is a ghost. And if you didn't already see my reel, I would definitely recommend going and looking at it. But let me just give you guys some cliff notes real quick from what I was able to learn as I studied about this card. This isn't a card that I had all the information sort of already in my mind. This is one that I needed to study on. But I knew that I was going to study on it because I've heard people talk about it being such a big card before. So here's what you need to know. Back in 1998 and 1999, Beckett Magazine and Upper Deck really had a hard time figuring out what the story was on this card. The first time Sign of the Times was printed, there was a little blurb at the top that said, next month we anticipate having sales volume for all of these cards, and then we'll report on what they're worth. The ones that don't have a price this first month, wait for a price next month. And Michael Jordan was on the checklist. There's 2 different sets. One's just called Sign of the Times. One of them is called Sign of the Times Rookies and Stars. The Jordan's from the Rookies and Stars set. But you just never would see the card publicly. And so they were like, we don't know how to price this at the beginning. Well, the next month came out and there was no price on it. The next month came out, there was no price on it. 6 months went by, or 5 months went by, and there was no price on it. And then they came out with this thing that just said, we can't even substantiate that this card is real, that there is one. So we're taking it out of the Beckett altogether. And they took it out. Usually they would leave a space if something was too rare, or they would say this is too volatile to list. In this case, they took it out because, and they said this in the language, they didn't know whether the card existed. After that, I didn't set my 10-minute timer. I got to set my 10-minute timer, even if it's Lelands. I know that Lelands is a big auction, but I don't have a lot of time today, but I want to spend some good time on the Jordan. So then the next month, they came out with another note that says, we have seen redemptions for this card. And, it said we substantiated that the card is real. And then there was another note that was about redemptions. And there was another note about the redemptions being potentially forgeries. They said these Upper Deck is represented to us that all Michael Jordan autographs made it into the pack. Look at that autograph. It's just glorious. They then sort of had to backtrack though. They said, actually, maybe these aren't forgeries. They were stolen from the factory. We're going to report next month what Upper Deck's going to do with these stolen redemption cards. So if you go back and you look, you could look on eBay right now. You can look, in any place right now. There's a chance that you'll see a 1997 SP Authentic Michael Jordan card that looks just like this, but down where the autograph is, instead of having an autograph, it says trade card. And what I thought all of these years, even though I was around for these Beckett's back in the day, I thought, because I'd seen the trade card so many times, like, oh, they're just expired redemption cards. Well, no, those redemption cards were stolen. According to Beckett, the autographs were inserted directly into the packs, which means if you hold 97 SP Authentic packs today, if those notes were telling the truth, the autographs were inserted directly into the packs. And the redemption cards were all stolen. I don't think they made very many of the redemption cards. I don't think there's not hundreds of them out there. There's 20 of them out there, 25 of them out there, probably 23 of them out there. Most of them are, have been graded. They still sell for thousands of dollars. Ironically, they sell for more than the autograph was originally worth, which is pretty incredible if you think about it like that. But the autograph itself, according to Upper Deck, according to Beckett, was inserted directly into the packs. PSA has graded a total of 7 of them. And this one has an autograph grade of a 10. And the autograph just looks beautiful. If you go watch my reel, you'll also see that the person who owned this just kept it in one of those massive screw downs for years and was smart enough to put that little penny sleeve on the card. I remember being told, don't put the penny sleeve on the card if you're putting it in the big screw down. Boy, those people who gave that information, they cost collectors millions of dollars. This card, if it had been left in that huge case all those years without a penny sleeve, very likely would have stuck to both sides of it because it wasn't a recessed screw down. Remember, there's recessed and non-recessed. Recessed, I think the word is recessed. I might be saying this wrong. I may not even know what recessed means, but my understanding is that there's like the screw down that has like a place where the card sits, and if that card is not too big, that ended up being like a pretty good way to store cards through the years because they didn't have as much sticking. Not perfect. There's still some issues, but anyway, this one is a 710. I've gotten a few calls on this card this week after putting up that reel. Let's just put it that way. There's a lot of people who were really interested to see what this sells for. And, where Jordan inserts have really exploded over the last few years and autographs have too. I think some people are looking at this going, there's fewer of this card than there are of like a Precious Metal Gems card. Shouldn't this card be worth more than a Precious Metal Gems card? I've heard people say they think this card will sell for $500,000. I've heard people say that they don't think it'll get to 200,000. We just don't know what this one's going to do, but it is definitely a massive story, and it's one that I think we're going to find interesting watching. Again, it ends this weekend. If you have a guess of what you think it'll sell for, I would love to hear it. These things are fun. Nobody really knows. What I know is that I want it. It makes me feel like I want an early Jordan autograph that nobody has. And this one, where it's been graded a total of 20 times across the grading companies, like it kind of fits the bill. It's an elite Michael Jordan autograph. Okay, I've already exhausted half my time on one card in Lelands, but we're going to start from highest and then just go through. So the 48 Leaf set's one of the greatest sets of all time. You've got the Page and the Jackie, and then the short prints and the Ruth, and you've got just this unbelievable set. And it looks like it's number 4 on the registry, and it's selling all at one time. That'll be a really interesting one to watch because you don't see high-end registry sets like that move altogether very often. A really beautiful Babe Ruth autograph ball. The pack of packs, 52 tops. The thing that I always point out on this is I don't think you can tell from the outside. At least I've never been able to find any research that suggests that you can tell which series it was from. I did a reel once upon a time on a 52 pack that was graded by GAI, and GAI said it was either the 5th or the 6th series. And GAI said that once upon a time, but I could not figure out how they could tell because the packs all looked the same to me. With that said, could this be a pack that you potentially could get a mantle out of or a Jackie out of? It is. I just don't know for sure that it's that series, and I don't think anybody else does either. At least not that I know of. 2000 sealed case, or not sealed case, sealed boxes in a case of football. 2000. This is the Tom Brady rookie year. So how many Bradys can you get from a case? Could be 0. Could it be 2 or 3? That's the question. Satchel Paige 1.5 at almost 20 grand. The 1869 Red Stockings Peck and Snyder trade card, I think, is believed to be possibly the first baseball card ever made. It's pretty incredible. You're talking about a card that is over 150 years old. There's nobody who's alive today who's alive when that card was made. It's kind of cool. Worth looking at the population and that stuff on that. I've always said, as somebody who does not collect tickets, that this Wilt Chamberlain is the ticket that I would want if I was going to collect tickets. I want to talk about this Ken Griffey Jr. And then the other thing that I want to do before we close out on Lelands is I want to come up here and I want to hit categories. I think the majority of the people who are watching this, not all of you, but the majority are basketball fans. I want to show you basketball because, one, because there's not a huge amount. There's only 78, but two, I want to show you sort of an opportunity that is worth looking at. Or is this doesn't include the cards, does it? So this is basketball, mostly like memorabilia, but I want to hit basketball cards. There we go. 211. That sounds more like it. So the thing that we've got to hit this Jerry West. It's one of my favorite cards of the whole week, along with this Oscar Robertson, but the Jerry West is really the story. So a lot of autograph 71s and autograph other cards here, even some autograph comp specs. That's pretty cool. Am I right in thinking, isn't there a comp spec Wilt up? There's not. Maybe I'm misremembering that, or that might have been another auction house. So today's more modern, how do I want to say this? Sorry, I'm thinking and looking at the same time, which is a bad idea. Some auction houses will auction smaller items off one at a time, but Leland sort of has this $500 minimum number. And so if you have a card that's up where it's like, we don't think this is going to sell for $500, they will lot it together with other cards. And so as you scroll through, you're going to see some cards and sets, or some lots where they've put 2 or 3 cards, or in some cases, a lot of cards together. And sometimes that provides interesting opportunities. I love the Starco and an old BGS holder. That's an interesting one to look at. And the Kobe, I'm always a big fan of an 03 Kobe exquisite card. Definitely one of his best base cards in existence. A really early Superfractor, 04 finest. This is the first year of Superfractors. It's an insert. Some people don't like that, but Gervin and Carmelo on the same card. Gosh, we're down to a minute to go, and I haven't even looked specifically at the items. Anyway, if you scroll to the end, you're going to see some of these lots. I would really recommend, and I do this every Lelands auction, I go through each of the lots to see if there's something in one of the lots where I go, should that be there? Did they lot up some stuff together that they maybe shouldn't have lotted up? They do a pretty good job, honestly, but a lot of times these lots aren't $500. There's some $10,000, big type lots that they put together. So be really mindful and careful on that, and look for the opportunities, because those opportunities are there. We've obviously spent a lot of time talking about the Jordan. This is the greatest game that any individual has ever played. 100 points in one game, and there's just not that many tickets. Go look at the pop report. I think there's several sections of different types of tickets. That's one thing you've always got to do on the pop report, is make sure that you're seeing everything that you want to see. Sometimes you might look at a pop report and be like, oh, that's all of the tickets from that game, but it's really in several different sections. With that said, just imagine you have this in your office at work, or you want to talk to somebody about like a key piece. I've always felt like if you were a ticket collector, you were a basketball ticket collector, this game is not, there's no video of this game. There's nothing that indicates like we just know that he scored 100 points because of the stories. And this was there. This was there that night in that presence. This is the stub that was there as, on March 2nd, 1962, where Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points. And, I can't talk about condition. I can't talk about anything else. I do want to see the back. What's on the back? Is it just a blank back? Yeah, it's just a blank back. The fact that was there. Okay, we've hit our 10 minutes. My timer's going off. The fact that was there is huge. This Griffey, I've got more content coming out on this week, but the bottom line that you've got to know about this is that as far as like autographed game used cards or just game used cards in general, this is one of the very first baseball game used cards. And, when Upper Deck decided we want to have an autographed game used card across all 4 sports right here at the beginning, right in 1997, 98, they did the Jordan of 23. They did 2 in football. One is Dan Marino. One is somebody else. I can't remember who it was. They did 2 in hockey. I can't remember if one's in one series and one's in the other. It's obviously Gretzky to 99. And then the other one, it's either like Ray Bork or Patrick Waugh, I should remember. And then in baseball, you've got Griffey to 24. And that's it. Those are the first game-used autograph cards ever. You can look at the back here and see it's number 1 of 24, the very first one. This is a huge, huge piece. It's also new, freshly graded. Gosh, I'll bet you there's a great story on this card. Lelands does a great job of finding old collections and helping people get those cards graded and then getting those things to auction. Where this card was just graded, and I know it was just graded because of that cert number. I know it. It's graded in like the last month or so. Last couple of months, I should say. And yeah, I would really guess this card's been sitting in the collection ungraded for a long time. There's a chance it's a cross too. It could be. But it would be worth doing some research on this and finding where the 1 of 24 came from. Yeah, that is a huge piece. And then lastly, another card that I will do some content on later this week if I get the chance. But I want people to get this one because I think, I could be wrong, I think this card's going to sell for a lot. I think. Here's why I think that. Okay, so people love firsts. They love rookies. He's wearing his LA Laker uniform. It's made in 1960, the year before 1961 Fleer, before Jerry West's rookie card, his mainstream rookie card. The Cons Wieners, the wiener the world awaited. Just the best. It's just the best. With a description on the back that looks like it is not cut off. Jerry West then has been said. Yes, so it's not cut off, although the wording is obviously off-centered. The front looks exactly like you want it to, with that facsimile autograph all showing, not cut off. The corners and the edges look great. You see the wear. You see the wear on the edges and on the corners, which again you want to see. You want to see that because you want to know that it's not been altered. With some paper loss down there, you can see it on both the left and on the front and the back. Maybe paper loss is not the right word, but it's definitely issues, whatever we want to call that. So you can see it here on the front too. Maybe I thought I saw it on the front. What? Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the case right there. There you go. Okay, now let's take this to the next level, though. This is definitely one. We're going to take just one more minute. I know we're out of time, but we're going to take one more minute. And we're going to go to, I almost just made a huge mistake. We're going to go to the PSA cert page. Another fresh to market, though. Wow, this is recently graded. Okay. Pop 1, 2 higher. This is a huge card, guys. This is a huge card. Okay, so let's go to 1960 Cons Wieners. There's only 34 of these. Ugh, this is a huge card. This is a really big card. Okay, I know I keep saying that, but no, I don't know whose card this is. Okay, sometimes people are like, "You're probably just talking about that so much because you know whose card." I have no idea who owns this card. I'm all over the place here. Sorry, guys. I have no idea who owns this card. I don't know. It's sitting at $4,000 right now, and I don't know what it'll sell for. Maybe it'll just stay at $4,700. I could be wrong, but this is what I think. Whenever you have a player of Jerry West's importance and high collectability, and you have a rookie that is preceded by another card that's not as well known, but still well known. Like this is the Cons Wieners set is a big set. It's been a set for a long time. So it's Jerry West. It's early. It's earlier than his rookie. And then it ends up being a really high grade copy. of a really rare card, and most of them are not high grade, it's usually an equation for being a huge auction. See, there's 34 of these, and one is an 8, one is a 7, one is a 6.5. That's the one we're looking at. And then look, like the other 31 are 6s, 5s, 4s, 3s, 2s, 1.5s, and 1s. Why? Because they came with packages of hot dogs. This is one of my cards of the week for sure. I love it. It's definitely going on my top 5. And I know other people are like, why is that on your top 5? That's not much to look at, but that is a piece of trading card history. And I could go on and on and on about it, and I already have. And we've definitely gone over on Lelands. So Lelands, that is it for Lelands. There's so much more to look at there. There's so many cards on here that I'd like to put. Oh, I got out of the shoot. I love this Griffey, but it's not a top 5 for me this week. The Jordan, though, did I put the Jordan over here already? I didn't. The Jordan might have to be on here. The Jordan will make the top 5 this week. Let's put it that way. So I'm going to search it real quick. And of course, it doesn't pop right up. I'm going to put it over here. It's potentially a top 5 this week. We already have 5 cards, 6 cards in the potential top 5. Get out of that. Move this over here. We still have a few left. And I know I need to keep it going. So we're at an hour already. And I'm going to keep the 10-minute thing going. Actually, for Heritage, I'm going to give it less than 10 minutes, though, because for Heritage this week, we don't have a real, like, full-on auction. We've got 212 items, and there's some stuff here that I just want to highlight. One of the purposes of this show, there's several purposes of this show. Okay. You might be like, why does Adam do this show every week? The number one purpose of the show is to make sure that I can do some good planning for different things that I need to cover during the week. And so it keeps me straight as far as like, okay, what things do I need to talk about this week? Because as I think most of you guys know, the auction houses, I do work for all of the auction houses. Okay. I create other content for them. And I do this show to just talk about the things that I think are most interesting as I find them, which I think some of you like. Maybe a lot of people don't like it, but the show's getting viewed enough that I'm getting enough positive comments that I think it's worth doing. If you guys think it's not worth doing, by the way, or if you think I'm wasting my time, please let me know. But enough people are watching. I don't think that's the case. Another thing that I want to do is I want to make sure that people know that the auctions are happening. And this Heritage auction is a perfect example of this because there's only 212 items up. Most of them aren't cards, but there are some cards where it's like, that's a pretty big card. Like there's a Gretzky 6, this right here, right at the top of the auction. It's the biggest card in the auction right now. But then you got another Gretzky, and you got an Aaron 7, and you got a basketball signed by MJ, and a Mantle 5 from 1961. And so I would just recommend scrolling through here. What's interesting is you get past the top of the items, then you get to some stuff that's like harder to find, like at Sporting Kings, Bobby Jones, and check out this co-signers. As I hit this morning, as I was just planning for the show, I was like, oh my goodness, that's actually a pretty big card. Well, you look at it and you go, shoot, the autographs are really faded on this. It's true, but for a lot of people who can't afford a really quality copy of this card, this is a great copy. I am not somebody who I'm not somebody who believes that a card has to be perfect for me to want it in my collection. If I loved this pairing and I loved this card, but I didn't want to spend a ton of money on it, then this could be the perfect copy of this card. What I do know is that you will almost never see one of these hit auction. There's just not a lot of them. There's not. I wonder if Gem Rate will tell us. So this is 2003 Stadium Club cosigners. Let's try Gem Rate real quick. I don't often do this for cards like this for Gem Rate. I think there's a pretty good chance it won't be there, but I want to just check it just in case. So if you come to Gem Rate and you click on Universal Pop Report, and then, I'm sorry, I always click on the wrong thing. Universal Card Search, and you type in 2003 co-signers. It is there. It's the number one card. PSA is graded 24. Oh, but you know what? That's just PSA. Sorry. Aaron Mays. BGS is graded 38. We're talking about 62 of these cards have been graded. It's not a big number, especially for a set that's as popular as cosigners. That's why we look stuff like that up. Now, is it going to be one of the best copies? No, it is going to be one of the worst copies of that card. Even though it was great, like I love that it's in a really old slab. It's faded massively, but it's still that card. So that's why we do this. The 500 Home Run Club, Willie Mays and PSA 10. The Catcher's rookie from 62 and PSA 6. Bunch of Mantles. Look, guarantee you that's from the same set. Somebody kept their cosigners out in the light. There's no question. Mays Musial, PSA 9. Definitely not a PSA 9 autograph anymore. Here's another one of them. It's another Aaron Mays. Same combination. Oh, this is a different set. I see. So there's all of these autographs. A lot of them have spent too much time in the light, but they are what they are, right? Some autograph balls, a nice Mays autograph. So come check this out. Not going to give Heritage the full 10 minutes this time, but definitely check that out. Okay, now let's get to hoodies. Hoodies has ending this weekend, so we're still almost a week away, their monthly high-end auction. And you can see hoodies high-end. If you come into here and I've clicked on the high-end filter already, you can see they've got a real interesting mix of awesome stuff. And we're gonna spend 10 minutes on hoodies today. So let's do this. Go ahead and start. And after hoodies, we still have Fanatics, we still have Card Hobby, and then we'll be done. But let's go now with hoodies. So the Julio Rodriguez autograph, the 2024 Star Wars Duel here with Harrison Ford, and I don't know what Chewbacca's actor's name is, Peter something. It's 1825 already. I want to look at that and see if we can tell if that's on card. Kind of looks like it almost might be like an acetate. I love this Kobe Bryant. I want to talk about that. We'll hit that here in a few minutes. Ooh, Steph Curry Nebula. Definitely want to hit that. Another big Kobe autograph patch. Steph Chrome rookie. Really nice Caitlin Clark. And an in-person MJ autograph. That's cool. Myers Leonard. This is his rookie card. Not that anybody cares. The real story here is that it's a 2012 Gold Prism card, which we just don't see at auction very often anymore. A 2009 Timeless Treasures Steph rookie. Got to see if that's game used or if that is from the rookie photo shoot. Speaking of cons, this Jerry Lucas is worth talking about too. This Neymar is gorgeous and the same design as earlier Noir stuff in basketball. Another big Steph. So Hoodies has several big Steph cards that are up this week. The Kobe Bryant Preferred autograph, Kobe Bryant Platinum, Kobe. This is one that I have to look up. This I think is one of his insert superfractors. He only has a few superfractors, guys. So we'll take a look at that one. Wow, this is a really cool Kobe patch right here. Talk about that one too. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. This Kobe we'll take a look at. This Brandon Roy we'll take a look at. Man, there's a lot of good stuff up this week at Hoodies. This is I think my fourth time I've covered the Hoodies high-end auction. I would say this auction maybe doesn't have the one really crazy high-end card. A couple of weeks ago, I did a reel for them on, maybe it's been about a month ago. I did a reel for them on a card that wasn't as part of their high-end auction, but it was a Noise Boys Michael Jordan card. This card does not have a Michael Jordan Noise Boys, or this auction does not have a PSA 10 Michael Jordan Noise Boys, but it has some huge cards. So let's talk about each of them. So in 2012, the first Flawless set came out. And in that first Flawless set, one of the things that was universally loved was the Jumbo Patch set. It was vertically oriented. This is obviously from the next year. It's horizontal. And there's lots of things about that set that people really liked. Wilt Chamberlain was in that set. and that was the biggest card. LeBron was in it. LeBron was actually in it twice. He had an MVP card and a regular card. But there's a few guys who were not in the set who people would have loved to have been in it, especially in retrospect. Steph is not in it, and Kobe is not in it. Kobe is not in any of the autograph patch sets either, except for the dual patch auto set, which is probably the most iconic set that year. Steph didn't make it into that either, unfortunately. So Steph doesn't have an autograph patch from 2012, but Kobe does. Anyway, I digress. The subsequent year, it seemed, my guess is that Panini just didn't have enough Kobe material to feel like they could allocate it to that set. But the subsequent year, we get this set. So this is the first flawless jumbo patch of Kobe. Does that matter? I think it does, because if you're a flawless fan, then you know that the jumbo patch is a big deal. You know it was one of the big things from their first year. Not autograph, just patch. And that's why, even though it's just a patch, it's going to sell really well. I mean, it's already at $2,400, and it's got almost 7 days to go, right? It's been up for 3 days. It's also in gem mint condition, which makes it a big deal. Big card. Okay, now this one. I did some research on this set last week, which I really liked. Did this research for alt, and so I want to share it with you on this one. So see, this card's numbered out of 35. Well, I'd always wondered with chronology what the different serial numbers were, because I just noticed that there were more autograph patches, and I love the cards. I sort of have never gone after any of them because I'm such a fan of holofoil, and there's no holofoil on the cards. But the thing that I always say about this set is every time it stops me in my tracks, because without the usage of holofoil, it still just really stands out as different and really pretty. I've heard collectors who I really respect talk about how this is one of the nicest autograph patch sets ever. And I see it. I get it. It's the patch windows. Most of the patches are pretty nice. The ornate gold around it it's ornate. It's really neat. The image of Kobe is great. The marbling on the background, or the autographed area is really great. And it feels really premium, like Chronology always did. Even though Chronology was not the highest end Upper Deck set, it wasn't too far down the list. And so they made stuff that was really nice. This is really nice. So what do you need to know about the numbering? Well, you can see the patch window here makes the jersey number 24. Cards that were numbered to 35 showed the jersey number. Cards that were numbered to 25 showed the player's initial. Then there's a card numbered to 15, which, if I remember right, says what year they were a rookie, or if they were a rookie, which Kobe was not in 2007, it shows their jersey number. So for Kevin Durant, it has the number 2 I'm talking about here on the patch window. It says number 2 for Kevin Durant. The card that's numbered to 5 says UD, and then I couldn't find the one that's out of 1. Couldn't find it. So there's one to 35, 25, 15, 5, and 1. I think that's it. I might doing that off the top of my head, obviously, so I might have said something wrong, but I think I got it all right. From the Upper Deck era, what autograph patches do you like more than this? Well, you can name some of them from Exquisite. There's not much more than that. There's some from Ultimate Collection you might take, but it's one of the nicer autograph patch cards ever made. And I like it. As a Kobe collector, I really like it. Okay, I've gone on too long on hoodies. No, I still have 2 minutes. I'm good. Okay, so why am I showing you a Brandon Roy card? Because this is one of the best Brandon Roy cards in the world. Number 2 out of 7. When this card came out, this is one of the biggest cards of the whole set. To give you a comparison, I remember I had a friend. Remember, this is before prices totally blew up, but rookies always do crazy things. I had a friend who pulled from 2 years prior the Ben Gordon out of 7, who was very much similar to Brandon Roy at the beginning of his career, one of the guys, right? Ben Gordon for a time was more popular than anybody else from the 2004 set, more popular than Dwight Howard for a long time, for a year. And I know that's crazy to think back at, but it was true. And he sold his copy of this card when it came out for $6,000. This is the parallel of the RPA that is numbered to the player's jersey number. And if you don't remember, When Exquisite came out in 2003, from 2003 all the way till the end, they made a jersey numbered parallel of the regular rookie. So the regular rookie of this card is numbered to 99. This is the one that's out of 7, Brandon Roy's jersey number. I would also add that in 06, they made this like they call it gold here, but it's like a platinum. The numbering, all this is in holofoil. This is like a rainbowy finish behind the player. It's a great looking card. And I know Brandon Roy ended up having a really disappointing career given how great he was going to be before the injuries. And I thought he was like the 5th best player in the year or in the league for several years. He was awesome. His stop and go game, man, just imagine how good Portland could have been had Brandon Roy stayed healthy and Greg Oden been able to be what he could have been. That's just a shame that they weren't able to do that. But Brandon Roy was amazing. This card is amazing. And it's not a coincidence, I don't think, that Hoodies is selling this card being located in Oregon. I would be shocked if this isn't a local customer of theirs who either sold them the card and they're selling it, or they're auctioning it off on behalf of their customer. That's a huge card. All right, got a couple more. So I want to just check this real quick. So it's obviously not an acetate because you can see on the back here, Peter Mayhew and Harrison Ford. And on the front, you can see the autographs. It does look like they're on sticker, but it is a 1 of 1, and you get both of them very clear. These guys aren't getting any younger. I think it's awesome. Awesome card if you're a Star Wars fan. I generally love entertainment cards. This Kobe I've talked about a couple of times in the past. I really think it's a very underrated card. Timer just went off, so we're about done here with hoodies. I think it's underrated because there's just this general consensus that cards that are like shiny cards, chromium cards, shouldn't have patches on them. A lot of people love autographs on them, but people don't love patches on shiny cards. I kind of don't get it. Like, I think this is a really great looking card. People will say, oh, there's too much going on and Spectre's garbage. Like, this is a gold refracting parallel of Kobe Bryant with a game-worn patch and an awesome autograph. And it will sell for a fraction of what cards that are not chromium sell for. And I think if I was, looking for a big autograph patch of Kobe and I wanted to get a pretty good deal on it, good luck finding a 3-color with that nice a patch. It's gold. It's limited as limited as this one is a great card. The Steph here, we've just got to look at. I might be wrong because I don't know this perfectly, but the draft pick set in the past has had like a regular version and then a secondary version of the card. I think generally the secondary version is one that's like horizontally oriented like this one. My guess is that this nebula right here is the secondary version. You can see the 1 of 1 numbering right there. But listen, whether it's the secondary or the primary, it is a beautiful card. You don't see a lot of big Davidson stuff of Steph. He does have some stuff from his rookie year that came out of Press Pass where he's in a Davidson uniform. But you're talking about a young Steph nebula. Show me the next time you get a chance at a Steph nebula card. And it may be the least expensive Steph Nebula Prism card you're ever going to get. This definitely goes in my top 10 this week. I do need to look up whether it is the other variation. I think it probably is. And I don't care. I love this card. All right. Wait a second. Okay. The patch. I wanted to just see if this is game used. Nope. This is event worn. So this is from the rookie photo shoot. You can see the serial number here out of 25. Card is not autographed, but it's a nice big piece of patch, and it is a Steph rookie card. You see the word apprentice. There we go. Rookie right there, number 30. Right there, right in front. You love that you can tell that's a Steph rookie patch. If it was autographed, it would be really, really, really expensive. So if you want a Steph rookie patch card, that is a great option. Jerry Lucas. I was thinking this was autographed, but I forgot this is facsimile. The reason I wanted to highlight it, though, is similar to the Jerry West that I talked about earlier. Jerry Lucas, his rookie card was made when? 1969 Topps. Wait, how can he have a card that came out 6 years before that? Well, the NBA didn't have a mainstream set that was produced by either Topps or Fleer between 1969 and 1961. So guys that were drafted 62, 63, they just didn't have mainstream rookie cards till much later. Now, remember, Cons made cards back to like 1960. So this may not be Jerry Lucas's first card. I would double check that. Here they say Jerry Lucas rookie, and that might be right. This might be his first Cons card. This is something that I talked about with Jeremy recently. What do you call a card if the mainstream rookie is later and there's a bunch of stuff made before that? This was in terms of the Michael Jordan star cards, because the Jordan Fleer we call the rookie, and the 84 we could say that's like the true rookie. But then, like, you still have star cards from 85 and 86 that were made before Fleer. Is it appropriate to call them rookies? Well, in one way, I would say no, because clearly they're after the main star card. But in another way, I would personally say yes, because they came before this other traditional sort of rookie card. This card was made 6 years ahead of the traditional rookie. And it may be the very first Cons Jerry Lucas, but it may not be. So I would look into that too. And I just have to highlight this Neymar because it's beautiful. His autograph is just stunning. And if we look on here, we can see, does it say anything about where the shirt came from? Player worn material. So he wore it in something. What he wore it in is not as clear, but he wore it in something. And this Kobe, I have to look this up real quick. Sorry, guys. Have to look at it. Have to look this up. So I would argue, well, before I say anything, let me look this up. So this is from 2007. You can see that it does have a superfractor element to it. And if you look at the back, it doesn't say superfractor, but I believe it. I mean, it is a superfractor, right? Does it say superfractor? Okay, I want to look at this with you guys real quick. If you come into Beckett, I'm already logged in, which is great. And you click on, I'm on verify cert number. That's not where I want to be. If I come here and I just go Kobe Bryant Superfractor. It says no results, but sometimes you just got to wait a second and hit enter a couple times, and then it'll show the results. Okay, so if you do that, you see 28 of these. And if you do super, there's a couple of others that show up, but it's only like, it's like one or two others. So there's like 29 or 30 total Kobe Bryant superfractors ever made. And they're all one of one. See this print run? 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And then you get down to one that's not a one. It's this one right here. 07, 08 Letterman patches, superfractor out of 6. 07, 08 Letterman superfractor. This is the N. KB, this is the N. So this card right here, let's go back to this. It's the only non-one of one Kobe superfractor. And 28 plus 5 is 33. So there's 33 plus there's one more that you just get if you type in Kobe Bryant Super. I'm not going to do that now because there's a million Kobe Bryant Supers. But bottom line, there's like 34 Kobe Bryant Supers ever made. This one is the only one that's not a one of one. This one does have gold that was used in it. And you can see that it was an exclusively manufactured patch. It would be cool to put together the whole thing. BRYANT, that would be cool. And it is cool from the perspective that people like Letterman, and it's cool that it has gold in it. I would say that by far it's the least cool Kobe Bryant superfractor card, just being real. Like, that's how I feel. But it is still one of just 35 or 34, 35 that have ever been made. And that's really neat. I mean, that's really, really neat. It is a Kobe Bryant superfractor and one than fewer than 40 that have ever been made. And every time a card like that hits auction, you don't know what it's going to do. How do you feel about the patch? I'm probably not the only one. The manufacturer thing is probably not everybody's favorite. But if you like it, and if you want to try to get all of them, or if you just want a one of one, if you want a Kobe Superfractor and you don't want to pay, six figures, or we had one sell last week for $70-something thousand. If you don't want to if you don't want to spend tens of thousands of dollars, this might be your best. This might be your only option to be able to do that. So, all right, that is going to be it for hoodies this week. Now let's move to Fanatics Collect. And we're going to set the 10-minute timer here for Fanatics Collect. All right, start out with an Acuna Gold to 50, 10-10, pop 8. That is a huge, huge card. And one of the biggest Bowman Chrome baseball cards ever made. Acuna's career has been, even I know as a non-baseball guy, some of his accolades have been huge. Other than maybe Ohtani, there's not very many guys where it's like, that guy's definitely more popular. He's highly sought after. So very, very cool to see that starting off the auction here at Fanatics Collect this week. We also have the Molten Metal MJ and a 9. This is the one out of 250, 0.5 away from being a 9.5. Really strong subs. I wish I knew how to say this. Paradasha, something like that. I think other people I've heard say it, and it doesn't sound anything like what I just tried to say. 10-10 on the Chirrio. Big card. 2 on the Babe. Another Chirrio. Pokemon card. Look at this. Several big Pokemon cards, like 5 or 6 of them in a row. An 8 on the Ryan rookie. The 10 on the Shea Blue. That's a big card right now. It's interesting. It's like it's a jersey color match, but then, obviously now he doesn't play with the Clippers anymore. So do you want a different color on it? I'm not sure. It does look really cool the way that it is. The 8 on the Kobe Jambalaya. The Jambalaya one is an interesting one that I'm going to do some more content on later this week. Apparently, somebody put together the whole Jambalaya basketball card set from 1997, got them all in PSA holders, and is letting the whole set go. So between this week and then next week with the premiere where the Jordan ends, a whole set is being liquidated, which is always interesting to see. And it makes you ask the question, would you have rather sold, if it was you, would you have sold the whole set together? Would you have sold it in one group, or is selling it off one at a time smarter? It's worth thinking about for sure. Pujols 10 on the rookie autograph. Let's go to the second page here. Lots of Pokemon on that first page. Lots and lots of Pokemon. I'll bet you we see some other Jambalaya stuff here. Jordan autograph on the SPX card. SGA flawless autograph patch. Eminence Lionel Messi. Big Ken Griffey Jr. right here. This is the StarQuest Gold. Pop 1 of 5, just one graded higher. How often do you see a more modern card that's a PSA 6 that says pop 1 of 5, just one graded higher? That's a huge card. That one maybe one that we need to talk about a little bit more, and a card that might go on my top 5 this week. This Griffey right here is also huge. The Mirror Blue. You can usually look these up and see what the print run is. The Luminescent MJ. Let's talk about that one real quick too. We had, let's come back. We had a big triumvirate Jordan sell yesterday. I need to go back and look and see what it sold for. It was the Illuminator from Series 2. I need to go back and see what that sold for, because that was a big card. Actually, we could probably find it on here real quick. Ooh, Shaq red in an authentic holder. That's a big auction. What is this? Michael Jordan signed and framed. LeBron autographed jersey. There's that more Jambalaya that I was telling you about. Timmy. Sure, we'll see Garnett and some of the other guys here too. Ooh, a Mitch Richmond autographed logo man. It's pretty cool. I love the older logo men's where you get like the smaller logo man. Wow, so this is interesting. I had somebody ask a question on, oh gosh, I clicked the wrong button again, guys. Sorry. This is not what I wanted to talk about. This LeBron is what I want to talk about. Shaq PSA 9. Let's look at that one too. Oh, Babe Ruth. And then the Jokic Flash Prism. Okay, we're going to stop there after 4 pages. So this is really an interesting card that's up with Fanatics Collect this week. As soon as I saw this, I went, whoa, what is that doing in this auction at $1,000? That's the gold Bowman Chrome LeBron. But there's something wrong, and that is, as you can see on the flip here, missing serial number. This is really interesting because this is one of the biggest LeBron cards in existence. And when you see missing serial number, you go, how in the world did Topps back years ago now, long time ago probably, how did they let that out of the factory? The thing that makes you worry about is like, oh, if you see one of these that doesn't have a serial number on it, it makes you wonder, like with other cards, do I know that card was pack inserted? This should never happen. Card companies need to ensure, and it's happened to all of the card companies, to be clear. Panini's the one where I'm like, I don't know if I've seen it happen with them, but it probably hasn't. I just don't know about it. Sometimes card companies will produce extra sheets, and they'll keep them either so that they can have them on reserve for replacements, or they just will just keep them just because. But a card company should destroy all of their stuff almost immediately. Once the pack outs happened, they should destroy almost all of their stuff. Because if they don't, then at some point, some employee, or at some point that sheet or those cards get out. And what it does is it can potentially compromise the other cards. So as a collector, I love this LeBron because it gives somebody a chance at a card that has often sold in the 6 figures or very high 5 figures. That's one of his best rookie cards. It gives people a chance at that. But there's a bigger part of me that's like, I don't like that this exists, because then the next time you see one up, you have to sort of ask the question, oh, could it have been that one that was not numbered and now it is numbered? You'll notice the centering on this one's quite a bit off. It's like 30-70 or 20-80 side to side. But you have to worry when you see a card like this without a serial number about the other regular copies. And then it makes you wonder, does LeBron's Topps Chrome have a similar issue? Does Steph's Topps Chrome have a similar issue? I don't know. And then when you see a card that's the jersey number out of 50 or out of 500, you sort of also have to wonder, like, is that one where somebody was able to get the stamp and make it look like it was pack inserted? And I just hate that you have to even think about those things. Those are the things that just make me so irritated sometimes as a collector, is that we have to worry about those things. And again, if the companies who produce the cards were to destroy all of their extras, then we wouldn't have those issues. But we've seen over time that they've made a lot of mistakes as far as that goes. The Shaq I wanted to highlight because I just think this is one of the prettiest sets ever. You can see that it's a refractor on the back and on the front, and the 9 here is a really strong grade. People who are quick to sort of look at the card over the grade will always look at these and will say, that card's overgraded because there's all this stuff on the back. And you can see that it's more than just the lightning. There's these other things that are on the card. This is on every one of these cards, though. So I don't know how PSA has sort of decided to grade those over the years, but this one's fairly recent. It's in the 8s. What is that, a couple years ago? And it graded pretty well, despite some of those things. I don't know. You have to think, decide what you think about it. But what I can tell you is it's a pop 1 of 10 with just 1 higher, which makes it a huge Shaq insert. And then last couple, this Griffey, which may go on my top 5 this week, the Star Quest Gold is a huge card out of Beauty Choice for all of the different sports, because UD choice was so low end. We're talking about $1.50, $2 a pack. The fact that they had serial numbered cards in them, so many of them got damaged or destroyed. This one's a 6, but look at it. It looks really sharp. Corners and edges look really nice for a 6. I think it's a great looking card. And I love it when you can have a card that is worth so much money. It's like it's such a big card years and years after, but a kid had a chance to pull it. I love that. I love that this might have been sitting in a kid's binder for the last 25 years. I love that. It's awesome. All right. One last card at Fanatics Collect we need to look at. So this Jordan Luminescent, there is not a set. We've hit our 10 minutes. So this will be the last card to talk about. There is not a set that I know of that has been as badly labeled or identified, I should say, by the card companies as 1997 Triumvirate. It is wrong all the time. PSA and Beckett have done over the years their best on identifying cards correctly, but sometimes they just get things wrong. PSA has gotten this set wrong a lot. Beckett has gotten this set wrong a lot. And it's easy to understand why as you get years away from it. People will always say things like, well, it's just easy. You just need to know, you need to know about this set. So let me just give you the very basics. Okay. And I'm not going to use any of the big words because I just want to make it super simple. 1997, Top Stadium Club made the very first Triumvirate cards. It's a unique insert because basically in each Series 1 and Series 2, you had a group of 3 cards that like fit together. And so with this card, this Michael Jordan, he's got Scottie Pippen on one side and Dennis Rodman on the other side. Super cool. It's a great looking group of 3 cards. And you can see that in the back, it's going to spell out Bulls when you put together the little puzzle. It's very, very cool. So if that was it, and that's all you needed to know, it'd be really simple, right? Well, in each of the 2 series, Stadium Club made 3 different versions. The most basic version doesn't refract, and it's not see-through. The next 2 versions are more complicated, and they're more complicated because there's 2 series, and the 2 series are not the same. This is Series 1, the one with the hardwood. Series 1, the second level is, in my opinion, the best looking level for Series 1. It's not the rarest. The rarest is the Illuminator, and the Illuminator in both Series 1 and Series 2, the Illuminator has see-through elements to it. So this card is not the Illuminator. This is the second version, so the second most difficult card to get, and it refracts, okay? It is a refracting card, and it looks way better than the Illuminator. I've owned both. I think this is a far better looking card, but it's not as rare as the Illuminator. In Series 2, the Illuminator is also see-through, but it also refracts, okay? So in Series 2, both the second hardest parallel and the hardest parallel, they both refract. But the Illuminator, which is the third hardest, not only refracts, it's also see-through. So simple. In Series 1, the second rarest refracts, the third rarest doesn't. In Series 2, both of the last 2 levels refract. And in both series, if it's see-through, it is the Illuminator. That's what you got to know. Yes, I did that right off the top of my head. No, I hope I didn't say anything wrong. I don't think I did. That's it for Fanatics Collect this week. Let's move to the last thing of the week, which is going to be Card Hobby. Card Hobby, as usual, we've sorted by highest. There is some huge stuff up. Check out this Jokic 2023. This is the Star Swatch Platinum. This is the 1 of 1. The awesome piece of the ad tag. Got a really nice Steph dual patch auto. Kobe's chronology and a PSA 9, a Cade NTRPA. Obviously, his stuff's flying. It's Kobe Bryant number pieces the first year that he wore number 24. I want to talk about this Joel Embiid real quick because I have something really funny to say about it. Love the Luka Eminence card. 1-1 Anthony Edwards. Really nice Dirk autograph patch. That card is so flipping sweet. Let's click on that one too. 62 points from McGrady. Very cool, impeccable. Maybe the coolest card Gala ever made. I love Gala. Everybody who knows me knows that I love Gala. I've always thought the Gala is one of the coolest cards from the Panini era, especially what they did with the rookies, but they also have some really cool autographs. And so I want to talk about that card and that history for just a second. I'm not going to start the clock. I don't know if we're going to get to 10 minutes, but we're only going to look at this first page. Okay. So we're going to just look at 3 cards. Okay. So we'll start with this Joel Embiid. You're going to think I'm crazy when we look at this one. Okay. Okay. So this card, let's click back and forth here real fast. This is from 2014. The immaculate, this is the rookie year for Andrew Wiggins and Joel Embiid. And if you weren't collecting it this time, you've got to know this was supposed to be one of the greatest rookie classes of all time. And it was headlined by these 2 guys, as well as the immortal Jabari Parker. Those were the 3 guys that were going to be like the greatest rookies of all time. Well, we know that Embiid ended up being like an all-time great, right? He's just been awesome, but he's gotten injured at the worst places and hasn't ever been able to produce in the ways that we wanted him to. Andrew Wiggins has been an all-star, a champion, but he's had we would say, I think most of us would agree, a really disappointing NBA career because we thought he was going to be an all-timer. This card is a dual logoman auto from their rookie year, and it is a booklet. None of this is why I'm talking about this card, though. Okay, so I want to talk about what I think is really interesting about this card, and it's worth asking. So I'm going to just ask an insane question. Please do not judge me, but this is the question. Would you consider taking this card and cutting it in half? The reason that I ask this is there are other cards from this set where that has happened. And when you look at it, it's really easy to understand why you would cut it in half. People don't love booklets always. People love cards in their traditional size. And this card provides for a really interesting opportunity. Now, there are other cards in the set where the 2 guys on the card, they don't match up in a way that really makes a lot of sense. That's not the issue with this card. In this case, the Wiggins and the Embiid, like they really fit together because they went to Kansas together, right? They were teammates. They were obviously rookies the same year. They were 2 of the top 3 picks in the draft. There's a lot going for it. I personally would not cut this in half. But if this was Joel Embiid and some other yokel that we don't know, as well, I would really consider it. And it's because you have this perfect, like it looks just like an immaculate logoman RPA without the 1-of-1 on the front, right? Where is the 1-of-1 actually? I wonder, I can't make this image bigger, but I would like to know where it is. It might just be here on the back. It probably is just on the back. Now, the bad thing is this. If you cut it in half, right, Embiid's side also has Embiid and Wiggins' names. Wiggins on that side just has the 1-of-1, and it doesn't say Embiid's name on it anywhere. The 1-of-1 Wiggins here, if you were able to cut it out, you would remove this like white section that's in the middle here, this booklet section, where when this card is folded, you can see from the side who it is. So you would get this 1-of-1 rookie thing here along with Wiggins and the logo man and the autograph. Now, some people are going to say, people have different feelings on this. Some people are going to say, Adam, that's alteration and trying to fool somebody. No, I don't think you're trying to fool anyone. Like I'm just trying to talk about like what it looks like. And I would never, ever, ever in a million years ever condone trying to trick somebody in this hobby. Okay. Please, if you've watched me or listened to me over the course of the last, I don't know how many years I've been doing this sort of thing. Like, that I would never condone that. So let's start there. But for your collection, Andrew Wiggins' NTRPA or Immaculate RPA, like the true one from the rookie year, are still huge money. Like, they're huge money. And in this case, you're getting a logoman from from a jersey that he wore in the rookie photo shoot. You're getting all the cool design elements that Immaculate put into the card. You're getting the autograph. You're getting the 1/1. I just think it's something that's worth considering and saying, is this insane? I personally would not tell you were insane for doing it. I think on this card, I would not do it, but on some other cards, I would. I think especially for Embiid, like, look at that big autograph. It's cool. It's a great card. All right, now everybody's going to judge me and say, Adam was saying this or saying that. I hope you guys don't do that. But if you do, that's okay. It's happened before. All right, so Dirk Nowitzki, 1/1 Immaculate autograph patch. One of the sweetest patches. I mean, just the combination on here is perfect. This is basically a perfect card. 1/1 stamp, awesome autograph. I can't tell if it's... I cannot tell if that's acetate. I don't think it is. I do think that the patch is probably game used because that's how, let's see, the enclosed game worn material. Yeah. So worn by Dirk. Very cool Nike swoosh. And then last but not least, the Kobe Gala. Every time I see this card, I'm like, man, I love that card. I love the image of Kobe. I love the hollow board or foil board, whatever you want to call it. I love the big Kobe smile, the elbow band, the 2 championships, the nice autograph. Gosh, this one's even 27 out of 30. This card has my name on it. I love this card. So I love the 24 in the back. Top corner is obviously not great. That's probably why it's not graded. It's probably like a PSA 5 or something because of that top corner. But gosh, that's a great card. So let's give some background on Gala real quick. So Gala has a very interesting past. I am, in some circles, mainly blowout cards, am known as like the Gala lover. I do love Gala. I say that unabashedly. I've always loved Gala. Gala came out in 2014, and I loved it because of several reasons. The first and by far the biggest reason, though, was that the rookies were numbered to 8. I love that. I collected almost like over half the set of rookies. I had guys like Marcus Smart and Rodney Hood and Dante Exum and these guys who I thought were going to be great. It turned out 24 draft classes, I already joked about earlier, was one of the worst underperforming draft classes of all time. And then Gala. So I think boxes were like just available in Asia, if I remember right. You got 1 base card per pack. And in 2014, I should know this because I put together the set or close to it a couple of times. I think they made like 16 rookies and they made like, I don't know how many regular cards, like 70 or 80 regular cards. There might be like 100 total or 90 total cards in the set. And they didn't make any parallels. So there's just 1 Gala card. There's just 1 Gala base. The rookies were to 8. The regular cards were to 79. And so it came out that you would get like 1 rookie card in every, like, it was insane. It was something like 1 rookie card in every 50 boxes. Because again, there's only 8 of each card. And there was no parallel made. So I loved it, and I talked about it a ton on Blowout, and that's why people still make fun of me for it, because I loved it so much. But I still love it. As the years went by, it grew on me even more, like not just the rookies though, but like the base cards, because a base card to 79 is pretty rare. And then aesthetically, they're beautiful cards. The hollow board or the foil board is really just a great. I just love that. I love that design element, and you can see it here on this Kobe. This like gosh, my face is covering the card the whole time. That's super annoying. Sorry, guys. You can see here this foily area that he's signing on. Like the whole card is in foil. I like the Gala logo even. I just love it. And this is the award-winning autographs, which all of the cards from Gala are signed on card. Though the base cards are not autographed, just these inserts. This says it's from 2015. I actually thought when I first saw it was from 2014, but it is from 2015. I'm wrong about that. There's another set that's kind of like this in 2015 that's also really cool. So then 2015 came along, and they made another really rare base set where the rookies are numbered out of 8. And then they made all the regular cards out of 99. So they went from 79 to 99, and they made the checklist much bigger. And they might have even put some retired players in the checklist. I don't remember that. I'm not sure. I think they might have done that. But the rookies were still out of 8, and then the regular cards were out of 99. Well, although I loved it, Panini didn't get the love from Gala. The only part of Gala that people really loved, turned out, were the rookies to 8. At least that's what was true at the time, because they only made 2 full sets of Gala. This is one of them. But then after this, in 2016, they took the year off. And then in 2017, they made part of the Gala set, the rookies, they made that for the Chronicles product. So you could pull a Donovan Mitchell, which I had for a few years, a Donovan Mitchell Gala rookie that was really a Chronicles rookie. Sometimes the graders would even say Chronicles Gala, or sometimes they would just say Gala. I'm just going to be real. I ended up moving the Donovan because I felt like this even when I bought it. I love Gala, but I don't love that you got this product called the Chronicles, where it's like, we're going to put out 100 different rookies from different brands, and they're all just real rookies, and you just sort of accept that. I don't really like that. I liked it when it was like this, where all of the cards were in one set. I liked 2014 Gala and 2015 Gala. I liked the standalone products, and the stuff that came after that didn't mean as much to me. Did I still think, oh, it'd be really cool to get a Luka Doncic Gala rookie? I did think that. I thought that would have been really cool. I love the idea of really low-numbered rookie cards that don't have any parallels. I do. I've always loved that. But I don't like that they came out of their non-standalone product. This card was a standalone Gala product where you'd get one base card per pack, and then you get a few autographs, a few patch cards, a few jersey cards, and that was it. That was all you got in every pack. And this Kobe was one of the biggest cards from the product. So I love it. And that is it for this week as far as like cards that we're going to talk about. I love it, but I'm not going to put that one in my top 5. So now here's what we have in our top 5. Let's get out of all this stuff. We don't need to be in any of this stuff anymore. Okay. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards to choose from. We have the last name in white, Mickey Mantle. It's up with MC Sportscards and ends tonight. We have the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander number 2 of 10 True Gold. We have the gold Ken Griffey Jr. Star Quest from 1999 in a PSA 6, Pop 5, 1 higher. We have the Jerry West Cons Wieners 6.5 that predates his rookie card. There's only 33 total in the population, and this is the third highest graded ever. There's a 7 and an 8, I believe, if I remember that right. We have the Jordan Sign of the Times, one of the rarest Michael Jordan autographs ever, the PMG Champ of Kobe Bryant, and the Pop 10 Larry Bird Finest Refractor. Did we go all basketball today and the 1 baseball, or we went 2 baseball? Gosh, I'm probably going to kick out the 2 baseball cards. I hate to say it, but it's probably true. So I love the Mantle. It's a great card. It can't go in the top 5 with these other ones. There's too much good stuff. I do love how rare it is, but it's out. And that leaves us with 6. I don't want to get rid of that Griffey, though. Boy, this is going to be tough, guys. Man, this is tough. And then I didn't even keep the jersey autograph that Lelands has up. I'm going to kick this Griffey out, too. So we're going to be left with an all basketball top 5 this week. And now we get to put them in order. My number 5 card of the week. Oh, this is tough. Man, this is tough. I love this Larry Bird card here. I don't want to put it 5th. I sort of have to, though. One of the most underrated Larry Bird cards that you will ever see. Pop 10. Right after he stopped playing, his only chromium sort of playing days card that was ever made in a PSA 10, and there's only 10 of them in existence. We're going to put that at number 5. Number 4, gosh. Man, this is tough. This is really tough. I'm going to put the Jerry West. I thought the Jerry West might be my favorite card of the week almost, but do I want to do that or do I want to do the Shea? Or the Kobe? I'm going to do... It's like a virtual tie between these two cards. I'm going to do 3 and 4 in whatever order you want to say. The Jerry West. I love that combination of rarity and high grade, and that it predates his rookie card, and one of the finest Kobe Bryant parallels ever made. The on the beach PMG champ in an 8.5. Those are going to be 4 and 3. 2 is going to be the SGA. I mean, I sort of feel weird putting that above these other ones, but like I love that it's number 2 of 10. If it wasn't 2 of 10, it still would have made the top 5 because having a true SGA Prism Gold at auction is a huge deal with where he is in his career right now. But the fact that it's 2 of 10 has me like pretty excited about it. So I'm going to put it number 2. And then my number 1 card of the week, which I sort of knew probably was going to be the case at the beginning, this Jordan autograph sign of the times. It's very rare when a card like this pops up where I'm like, that's as rare as it is. That is, a card that's been preserved as well as it has been. It's sort of a perfect card. It's like the sort of card that I think, should I move a huge amount of stuff to try to go get it? And again, I'm not the only one that feels that way. I know a lot of people feel that way about this card. So those are my top 5 of the week. Thank you guys for joining. Went 25 minutes too long, but that's okay. That's how it goes. I like the 10-minute timer thing. Let me know how you guys liked it. Let me know how you liked this episode. If you haven't liked the episode yet, but you've sat there and watched for an hour and 55, would you please hit the like button? Please. Would you please subscribe? We've got just over 1,000 subscribers at this point. Trying to do my best to give you guys something that's interesting each week to start your week off with. Huge week for auctions this week. Let me know in the comments which card is your favorite. And if you haven't already followed me over on Instagram, go to the Real 27 guy over there and do that. Thank you guys as always. Have a great week. Happy collecting.